Sarah here, your veteran adaptive PE teacher. Welcome back to Easy Adaptive PE. Today we're going to talk about lesson planning and how to do it, right? Because sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming to figure out how to lesson plan. Like, what am I teaching these kids and why am I teaching these things to these kids? Please like, subscribe, all the things. All right, let's get into it. So the purpose of lesson planning, right? Why do we plan ahead of time? It's not so that we don't look like we don't know what we're doing. It's not so that we're prepared. I mean, it is so that we're prepared. But what is like the really main focus and the goal of lesson plans? It's to take those goals that those kiddos had that we already did the assessments and we wrote the IEP goals and we can see where their strengths are and where their areas of improvement. And now we're almost operationalizing it, right? We're taking those goals and we're saying, okay, how can we make these actionable items within our lessons each week so that these kids are able to get that practice, so I can take that data for those benchmarks and for the end of the year annual review report. So what does that look like, right? So for example, if the student's goal is to catch a playground ball, and I realize that's not a good goal. So let's say, for example, the student will be able to catch a playground ball 3 out of 5 times using the correct W up form and without it hitting their chest, with minimal support during physical education class. That's the goal, okay? So you're going to set up 3 stations, and the first station is going to be catching a scarf, right? Because that's a little bit easier than catching a playground ball. Why? It floats, it's slower, it's prettier, it's easier to track with your eyes. Then the next station, station number 2, might be catching a balloon, right? So again, it's going to go a little bit slower, it's going to float, it's an engaging activity, it's going to be a little bit easier to catch. And then number 3, you might do the actual playground ball, right? And so you're getting that practice with those items that are a little bit easier, a little bit more modified, and then you extend it up to what the actual activity is that you want to take that data on. Because then that activity becomes much more goal focused and you know that's where you're going to be. So, or whomever is taking that data for you, right? Because you could have the paraprofessionals have your cell phone and put the information right into the Google form, so you know that paraprofessional who's at the station number 3 is the one taking the data for the goals. Lesson planning ensures that the daily goal, that the goals are being fed each time that the kiddos come to your class. So each time they come, they're being fed their goals, the lessons are being fed the goals, so the goals are constantly part of your lesson planning. It doesn't have to be the same 3 activities every time, to those 3 stations that I talked about. You can utilize and create group games with that. You can make it more dynamic so they're not just standing and throwing and catching. You know, there's innumerable ways in order to catch a playground ball, or to lead up to catching that playground ball, or to even go beyond that and make it a little bit more difficult if you need to do that for some of your students. So just looking at those pieces and always remembering, how can I incorporate these students' goals into my lesson? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. At the bottom, there's going to be a lesson plan template. It's blank. It's what I use. Feel free to grab it. Either way, when we are looking at those kids, let's make sure that we're looking at areas of improvement, but also things that they shine at, things that are amazing and that they enjoy doing. All right, we'll see you guys next time.